No cool intro? Not looking good? What is happening to Review's video? I hope you're thinking that, or else I just wildly, wildly screwed up. But, yeah, so if you can't tell, I look like shit. Like that, and over here. I don't swear, this will be the only time. But today I will be talking about my opinion on my life and Pandas. If you don't know about that, it's pediatric acute neuro psychiatric syndrome or something like that. Yeah, that's it. It's bad. So my opinion on it, it sucks. I don't recommend it. End of video. Okay, it's gonna actually be way longer than that. Get a snack, get a drink, and let's move on with the show. This will be a story of my life. I understand that's the name of a song by, I think, Ed Sheeran. I do not know pop culture music or pop music, so I hope I know that that's right. Somebody told me about that. So, anyway, on with the show. So, it's on March something 2007, March 8th, actually, because my birthday. Really cool. My birthday's in a couple of days. I'm really excited. No, I'm not. I hate my birthday. So that's a story for another time. So, my mom's in labor, and guess what? Oh, trigger warning. Trigger warning for this entire video. Well, the umbilical cord is wrapped around my neck. That's a problem. So the doctors go to the other doctor and like, what do we do? What do we do? What? We can do a C-section, one person says, I think. The other person said, no, let's do a vacuum pull. It's exactly how it sounds. They take a vacuum, they put it into that area to try to help the mother give birth without cutting open the stomach. So they're going, and I'm going, oh god, oh, or something like that. I don't know. So anyway, I am born. So before I get into all the other issues of my entire life, I was born with some pretty bad genes from both sides of the gene pool. On my father's side, we have cataracts. My mother's side, we have IBS. We have arthritis. We have eating disorder. We have being short. It's a big issue. Uh, we have anxiety. We have depression. We have cancer. What else do we have? We have hair loss. Actually, no, we don't. We don't have hair loss, which is good because who wants to get rid of this? We got a lot of issues. I have them all on the list in my room of things I hope not to get in my old age. But you know, and then I'm born. So we go to the house. We're like, okay, that's be the worst thing that's gonna happen in my entire life. 2 weeks later, we found out I don't eat food. That's the issue because I don't eat food. You need food to survive if you don't know that. So we go rush back to the hospital. We're like, hey, Reeve's not eating food, and a small gust of wind could carry Revive into the heavens. What we do? The great minds at this hospital, not so great minds, are batting 2 for 2 for bad ideas. A G tube, which is they stick a tube up your nose, down your esophagus, and put it into your stomach. My mother said no, but she can't actually say that because if I die of not eating, she'll be liable and a lot of crap will happen. So she does the next best thing: call a good hospital and say, "Hey, Reeve's not eating. Can we go in for a consult?" Okay, sure. Next week they're going in, and long story short, they say, "Give Revive calorie powder." It's that simple. Calorie powder. Who would have thought about that? You know. So we get me off breast milk. We go into human food or baby food. I'm not eating like a steak or anything. I'm eating baby food. I'm eating baby food. I'm putting calorie powder in it, And, some other issues are happening. Number one, I don't sleep. Number two, I'm still eating very, very little. Um, Number three, I mean, there doesn't need to be number three. Eating and sleeping are the two most important things. Oh yeah, number three, like, GI troubles. So, uh, well, they also say, hey, so you know the review's really, really skinny, right? Parents go, yeah. Really not allowed to be with children because the fear of me becoming obsolete because of I can't fight off viruses because I'm so skinny, and children being the Godzilla of giving people viruses or something like that. Very, very good at it because they have no sense of hygiene. So they're like, yeah, Reeve, no children allowed to be near Revive in any vicinity. That caused some issues socially, which will be prominent later. But anyway, we took that time, we traveled to Israel, and nothing really important there happened except for I said my first sentence. It wasn't a full sentence, it was a part of a sentence, but it still counts. My parents put it in a baby book, and I'm so proud of it. It's ani rotse. You know, Hebrew's not the most beautiful language, but my first sentence was not in English. That's a start. Ani rotse just says I want, and then I pointed to pickles. So I wanted to say I want pickles, but I just said I want. Close enough to I want pickles, which is the purity that we need, that I don't get. Well, anyway, a year later, I'm finally bulky enough to not die by a small gush of wind or being near a child, that I go into pre-K 3. Great. Make two friends. Pre-K school is just socialization. You don't need to do work, you just need to socialize, which is work for me because I never done it before. Because, well, I told you. So, make two friends, that's nice. Would have liked to stay at that school a little bit longer, but my dad said, Raviv needs to learn more Hebrew. Okay, so, there is a Jewish school by our house. It's conservative. We're reform at most. We are below reform. We celebrate Hanukkah and Passover. That's about it. So, we go to this conservative school. It's not like conservative, like we like guns more than women. It's more conservative, as in we believe less in God than the Orthodox, but way more in God than the Reform. We're like, yeah, cool. The Reform are just like, they're just happy to be there. The conservative are like, we need to bulk up on our reading of Hebrew, and the Orthodox are the Orthodox. Orthodox everywhere just means Orthodox. Anyway, so I go to school, pre-K 4, great teachers, pretty okay class. I make a couple of friends. They're all girls, which tends to be a trend. Not a good one when seen in the future, but that's called foreshadowing. Haha. Okay, so pre-K 4, pretty good. Then kindergarten, same school. That's the first. This is my second school already, and I'm in pre-K 4. So not the best start, but it's a start. So pre-K 4, we it's a pre-K 4 class. It's the first time I'm ever. Oh, it's kindergarten. It's kindergarten class. I'm so sorry. Kindergarten class. Kindergarten class. First time I'm ever gonna do work. It's scary, and this is when we find out about all like the brain issues that probably got caused by the pulling on my head and neck during the vacuum pull, or I don't know. Probably didn't, but it could have. Got dyslexia, got dysgraphia, ADHD. So that's fun. Uh, can't write, can't really read that well, can't really do math. The core fundamental parts of kindergarten are a hindrance. But, that's okay. No, it's not. So, anyway, after that year, I go to this art school because I like to do ballet, or liked to do ballet. In kindergarten, I found out that there weren't people. So I'm non-binary now. I use they them pronouns. But before that, I cared about people didn't. I did not dance with people who I think you get what I'm saying. 'Cause I don't want to call myself that, but okay. I think you get it. I think you get it. But anyway, yeah. So I got really, really, really sad. So my parents said, "Do you know what? Let's go to an art school. That'll be great. There'll be kids who do dance like Raviv, and Raviv really needs the exercise because, well, I don't know, there's nothing else I was willing to do sports wise because, well, you can't see me standing up, but I am a twig. I can't do football, soccer, golf. I don't really know what else there is. But yeah, can't do it. So ballet was the only option. I get to this school. I'm really hyped. I'm gonna do ballet. I'm gonna sing. I'm gonna play an instrument. And nobody there liked the arts. This was in a poorer part of the state that I'm in, and it was a lottery system. So it was like a public school, but it was a lottery. People kind of used that as a private school just to send their kids to not the public schools in that area. And that ended up being my grade hated the arts. Got super depressed, and then they're like, let's give it one more try. Went there for a second year, it was worse. We said no. So I left that school. That is school number 3, by the way. Just putting it out there. That's school number 3. That's sad. But I moved back to my old school that I did pre-K for and kindergarten for, which I will now be doing 3rd grade for. And, you know, pretty good. Those friends that I made in pre-K, 4, and kindergarten, I'm still pretty good friends with them. I still know them. I still know that they exist. They're nice, and I'm happy. You know, I feel very very comfortable in this class, and I feel good. I'm still lacking in the social area and the learning aspects, but I can be there. That's good. I didn't absolutely hate it and felt like blowing the entire school up, which I definitely did not feel about my old school. Definitely didn't. Definitely didn't. Okay, so uh, this year was pretty meh, pretty good. Uh, the next year, all my friends leave. Not even kidding you. Not even kidding you. The people I was the closest with, all left. Ah. So, when I said socializing was very, very hard for me then, it got worse. And I was like, because I don't like new people, and I didn't really get to talk with these kids that much. But that's the year I learned Magic the Gathering. So that's all I'm going to talk about that year, not the can't really do division, and didn't have any friends, and was super depressed, and, all that jazz. Year after that, more kids leave. So now it's just the me and 3 other kids in the 5th grade class. Jesus. And this particular class, there was one kid who was very passionate about another. So that left me and one other kid. And this girl was very protective of this other kid. Which basically means would not let me in within a foot of this of this other kid. Yeah, she was like she would not let me near him with like a pole. She would like have like a stick, like you can't go, you can't get closer, you can't be closer. Yeah, it kind of sucked. So it was like the 3 of them because that other kid, I don't know, the kid did not like me. I don't know. I just had this feeling that that girl did not like me. But anyway, this will begin a trend of girls not liking me. It just started a little bit early. My grandmother always saw that at this time, girls will start to not like me anymore. They'd like to start hanging out with only girls. At that point, it was that girl and another boy, but throughout the years, it just kept on getting worse and worse about girls only want to hang out with girls and boys only want to hang out with boys. And then there's me in the middle, like, I don't really know what to do. So, I foreshadowed this in the beginning, but it really sucked because all the girls were like, no, no boys allowed. All the boys were like, I like sports, and I'm like, ugh, I just, please, please, I just want to be with you, please. Yeah, I was so depressed, and I could not do anything, and it was a bad year. Bad year. Um, my illnesses were on a spike that year. I got strep throat probably 8 times back to back that year. 8 times. So not only was I basically being bullied out of being friends with one of the kids, I was also constantly getting sick, which is just bad. It's just terrible. Um, I did not want to talk that entire year. Well, anyway, when we found out that that school was lying about my test scores and that I was really on everything educational, we decided to leave that school, and also for other reasons I don't really want to talk about. So I moved to the public school where I actually make friends, 5 friends. And, you remember that sleeping problem that I said? Yeah, that was still going on. That entire, what was that, like 10 years? I don't know. A long time. It was very, very prominent. Until we figure out that I have the thing with their tonsils, sleep apnea. Sleep apnea. It was that simple. I could just got my tonsils removed and, slept well. Jeez, these idiot doctors, like, come on. Anyway, end of that year, I have 5 friends. Five. We all like Harry Potter and Star Wars. We're all nerds. We're all nerds. It's great. It's great. I have these nerd friends, and it's just awful. It's just awesome. Until in the part of the school system that I'm in, they have 3 middle school because two is just too. It's just not enough. That third one is also a lottery, so I think it's 6 kids from each of the elementary schools get to go into that school. So I was separated from my friends. Oh no. Oh no. So, yeah, it was a sad year. That 6th grade year, number one, beginning of that year, had no friends. None. Zilch. Zero. Zippity Judah. Ifis. I don't know how many other ways I can say zero. -0. I don't know. No, I had 0 friends. And then, halfway through the year, not halfway through the year, 2 months, 2 months, October that year, um, I start having these hallucinations and these tics, which if you don't know what a tic is, like Tourette's? Those are tics, except my tics were movement based, not speaking based. It would be a lot easier if I just yelled shirt every like 20 seconds uncontrollably than like, you know, moving or passing out. Yeah, bitch sucked. So, uh, I get admitted to the hospital because, well, we can't really deal with it. And even before that, it was bad. Before that, I, my pediatrician was really lacking. He did not believe in antibiotics, so when I had all those strep throats, he did not give me antibiotics until I had it like the 10th time, and he's like, fine, I'll give you antibiotics that will actually work. So that was great. And then also that year, um, during the sick era, even before my sick era, I started getting rashes on my hands and all that jazz, and he gave me the big shrug of the shoulders, like, oh, it's a rash. It can be from anything. Maybe you're allergic to your detergent or some crap. I don't know. So I got admitted to the hospital, and they gave me a billion different diagnoses. Gender dysphoria, which they're half right on. Half right. It wasn't, I want to switch genders to the opposite side of the spectrum, is I want to be zero gender, or both genders, or a combination of none of them, or a combination of both of them, or make a third gender, or, there's a lot of ways of saying non binary. A lot. They're infinite. So they're kind of right about that one. They also said stress. They also said conversion disorder. They also said tic disorder. They also said this and that and stuff, and you know, not fun. Not really fun, because when you're in the hospital, when you're in 6th grade, people start to notice. And also, just to mention it, that year, dancing 20 hours a week, not a day. I did not sleep 4 hours and dance 20 hours. No, 20 hours a week. And when your calorie intake is -7, does not help you not get sick, if that's how I'm gonna put it. So yeah, while that's going on, I'm also, dancing 20 hours a week and not eating food. And then I started having all these tics. And one of them, I tried to shove a chicken down my throat. Not an entire chicken. It would not be a piece of chicken, and I choked myself out. It was really, really fun. But talking and screaming and flailing and all that fun stuff, and my eyes were very, very dilated. I don't really want to get graphic with it because it's not really that fun to talk about. But people start to notice that you're not gone. So, while that was happening, and I was in the hospital, my my school sent me stuff to my house, and so did my dance team sent me stuff to my house. Uh, Good in nature, but I'll get into why I did not like that later. But you know, at the end of that, one person, because so my grandmother was a nurse, and when they kept on giving me stupid responses like conversion disorders, nobody gives anyone because it's so out freaking dated, and tic disorder and like gender dysphoria and stress and like it's not. Give me neurology. Give me neurology. The neurologist came. It's like probably pandas. And that's what it was. But do you know what? They said, how do you treat it? It's like, well, pan does not exist. Take that in. What is it? Pandas. How do you treat it? Well, it doesn't exist. So, either this doctor is ignorant and stupid, or he is ignorant and stupid. So, the answer to that question that we've learned now is people don't like to diagnose it because it costs them a lot of money. Because anything that's involving the brain, which that was, I'll explain it all later, very hard to put on the insurance. Brain issue. Is it a concussion? No. What happens is you get so sick and your immune system can't fight it that instead of making you like throw up or something, it goes to your brain and just kind of like stabs it a couple of times. Jesus Christ. So, he was right. And a couple people said that before him. The therapist through the school, one of my teachers, um, my mother, who Googled it. Really, really, really funny. So after all of that, they admit me into another hospital because do you know what? I was causing too much freaking damage there. They need to call damage control, also known as get them the hell out of there. So, I get admitted to another hospital, which is a hospital for people who have things that they'll live with for their entire life. You know, people who have like eating disorders or stress disorders or like stuff like that. And it's kind of like, well, your life can be shit, and somebody somewhere screwed you over, but you're gonna have to live with it. Here, have a coloring book. The literal most pointless thing to say to anybody on the planet who's sick. But, it was nice. I actually made friends, which, I made friends. I still talk to them, too. Shout out to them. I don't know if they'll watch my videos, but I hope that they will. But, yeah. Jesus. Um, so, yeah. I get out of there. Because they're like, well, Raviv, you figured out how to cope with your illness. You'll be fine now, right? The answer is no, but I'm like, sure, get me the hell out of here. It sucks here. It's really sad. So I get out of there, I go home, and there's like a bunch of baskets waiting for me, and it's so nice, but it's so terrible at the same time. Because all the people like feel better. I can't. This sucks. Get better. Feel better soon. And one of my teachers put everyone up to it. And it's really really nice on the outset, but when people know you as a sick kid, it does not feel too good. So then, when I got out of there and I went back, they started a GSA for me because I said, well, you know what? I'm not really that straight. No, I'm like 0% straight. And I told them that because they beat it out of me with a stick. Also known as the doctor kept on asking me every single day, "Are you gay? Are you gay? Just say yes. Just say it." I'm like, "Yeah, fine, whatever." I didn't actually say it like that. I was like crying and stuff. I'm like, "Yeah, I am. Ah, shut up. I don't want. I want to know." My parents walked into the room saying, "We've known since you were 2 years old, and your favorite color was pink. And for your fourth birthday party, you dressed up as Belle." I'm like, oh, okay, pretty easy. But that kind of sucks because they didn't have it at the beginning of the year, and they always pull up the excuse of, "Oh, it didn't really get that much funding, but now it does." Also known as the school kind of had to do it because Jesus Christ, a kid just went through trauma, and they need a safe space. So that was really nice, but now people are nice to me when instead of avoiding eye contact with the absolutely you know not out kid on the planet. Like you should see the outfits I wore to school like before I came out. They're like, yeah, that kid's gay. Oh, okay, that's great. But they're all like, yeah, good job, Raviv. Fist bump. um I'm getting really off the rails here. Okay, what I wanted to say. Yeah, so end of that year, I go back to school, found out that because of the brain issues that I have because of it, so what it does is it kills one half my brain. It happened to be the what side of my brain? I think the right side of my brain that covers. No, it's my left side of the brain. Whatever. It covers the side that does math, science, riding a bike, memorizing. I couldn't do any of those things. So I come back from the hospital and they're like, okay, Raviv, let's catch you back up on uh pre-algebra. I don't know. Like you did it for 2 months. Like I don't know how to do it. I really don't. And that happens. I forgot how to do everything. I could not do a singular thing. My brain was so fried. I forgot how to ride a bike. Couldn't ride a bike anymore. It was crazy. But I got through the end of that year doing what they call T Club or the GSA, and it was really really fun. They it's sixth grade, so people didn't really it was the year before people actually cared about your grades. It's kind of like, oh, you just got here from fifth grade, let's ease you in. So I get through until seventh grade. Seventh grade, I'm actually doing pretty okay. I got over all that stuff. I'm on probably like 50 to 60 pills a day that I'm hiding. Don't tell my parents. Like, they know now, but uh, I kind of hid them and then lost memory of it. Kind of like a dream kind of thing. So, yeah, I wasn't actually taking my 60 pills a day. I was probably taking like two. But anyway, I'm doing okay. I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic. And then the COVID shutdown happened. So, uh, depressed kid, sick kid, anxious kid, plus pandemic equals pandemic cat. So that's when we got Storm, and he became my emotional support cat. Not legally or figuratively. He just bit my ankles. We are not on speaking terms anymore. He needs to get a hold of his anger management. Because he also bit my nose 2 days ago. We are not on speaking terms, but he is my baby, and I love him more than life itself. Which is not a lot. So I love him more than I love steak, I guess. I don't know. I love him a lot. But, seventh grade was really hard for me because I didn't really have friends and I couldn't see anyone and I had nobody and nothing and it was really depressed. So, what happens? Seventh grade, they find my pills that were hiding because they do renovations to the house, and they're like, "Oh, Raviv, you haven't even taken in like half of your pills, or even close to that." So yeah. So they find my pills, and they're not really happy. But I get through seventh grade and on to eighth grade, probably the worst year uh of my entire life. Eighth grade summer, I'm doing pretty okay. I do a dancing camp, and I'm like pretty bad because I have not danced in so many years, and since like the pandemic. I do a theater camp in a Catholic school. But, because they're an actual school, my mom's like, hey, you know what? It's small enough that, like during the pandemic, we don't really want you to get sick. So do you want to go here? I'm like, no. Like, okay, let's do it. So, what is a non religious Jew, you know, worst nightmare? It's definitely Catholic school, where every single morning you have to both praise Jesus and Donald Trump. Not even kidding you, half of the mornings they praise Donald Trump for, banning gay kids or something like that. Uh, you know, it was really, really fun. I had a great time having one friend there. But, halfway through the year, my saving grace happens. I get a relapse. I liked getting out of that school. I would have wished it wasn't through me getting a full relapse, or like I would have much rather it if like the entire school burned down or something like that. But no, relapse is fine. Same thing happened. Tics come back, memory loss, go go bye bye. Math skills, reading skills, bike riding skills again go away. All the stuff that I just got back get taken away again. That's like a sad game of. I don't play a lot of sporty game, but I think like baseball or something where somebody like steals the ball or I don't know, something like that. Is it clear I don't watch sports? Whatever. Yeah, so I lose everything once again. Really, 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 really fun. But it could be worse. I tell myself is the name of my book. I tell myself, but you know, uh, I go to another specialist, and he puts me on antibiotic. Finally, and it works. And it works so well. That summer, I do all the great things again. I do a dancing camp. I go into a singing camp. I don't do a theater camp at a Catholic school, but, you know, it got better. So, then, it's my first year in high school, and we have to figure out what to do. So we choose public school. Because I wanted to. I really did. I wanted public school, and I know that so many people are just gonna be like, public school sucks. But I never really gone to go to a private school, public school for a long time, and I wanted to. Want to do my high school year in a public school with a lot of kids, the smoking, the drugs, the alcohol, the ragers. Am I just watching too much Euphoria and Shameless? Probably. Um, teen pregnancy. No. But I go there and I do it for like 2 months until we find out they have mold, and I'm allergic to mold. So I finally only go for 2 classes a day, and that sucks. I mean, it was acting class and history class, but it still sucked. Um, yeah. So I actually made friends there, which is the saddest part. Is I actually made a lot of friends there, or acquaintances, I guess, as what my mother would call them, acquaintances, because we don't see each other outside of school that much. But I call them friends. I made I made a connection to some of those people, and I actually really like them. But as life happens for me, it is not to be. So end of that year, I'm I end the year barely getting through two of my classes. The only classes I passed with flying colors were history and acting, and the two I barely made it through were math and English because I couldn't do it. But you know, whatevs. So at the end of that year, my mom was like, "You're not doing that again." It's like, yeah. So what do we do during the summer? We go and do a ballet intensive, and I'm gonna do the full thing. I'm gonna be there for 4 weeks straight, make a bunch of friends, do the full hours, make a lot of friends. I don't actually know what happened at that summer camp because I think I went there for like 8 days, non-consecutively. Because I got there, I got a sinus infection, I went home, I came back, I still had a sinus infection, I went home, and yeah, it kind of sucked. So for the days I was there, I was super depressed because everybody there already made their friends, and I was kind of just like the outsider. And I also sucked at ballet, so that was pretty depressing for me. I had some sad days there. Thought about doing that a lot. But I made it, so that's a good thing. So now for 10th grade, we have to find a school that's small, new enough to not have mold in it. Yeah, I'm talking to you, 9th grade school. I'm not gonna say its name. Uh, I need to. It has to have a good education. Finally, we find a school. Guess what? It's an Orthodox Jewish school. I'm non-religious. I've gone to 3 religious schools. It's ridiculous. This one is also Jewish, not Catholic. We're not doing that again. And I get there, and it's a really, really nice community. Some of the teachers were not my favorite because I did not believe in their ideology, but the kids are nice, and I can't say that for most of the schools I've gone to. Actually, like 2 of them. So it's all good, right? And then so I keep on getting sick because on top of the brain destruction that Pandas causes, it also causes a, a destruction of my entire immune system. I got none. Nothing's protecting the antibodies from getting into my. I don't know how the biology works. I'm kind of like not really doing biology because it gives me a lot of stress. But something is causing something to get me sick, and nothing's protecting me from those uh sicknesses. Trademarked. Yeah. So just could not make it there. I just could not do it. I kind of just slipped under the cracks, and train went by, and the worst thing that happened was right before midterms. I got COVID. That's pretty bad, right? Okay. On top of that, we're gonna go flu A. Pretty terrible, right? And remember the uh, no immune system? I get flu B after flu A. Flu A and COVID are both gone, but I still have flu B. That's pretty terrible, right? No. A couple weeks later, I test again, flu B for a second time. Or it stayed, I don't know. But out of the past, I'd say 8 weeks, I've had fever and I've been sick. And I feel like garbage. I feel terrible. And, after that, now I'm at this school for geniuses, and as you can tell, I'm not really a genius, so that's really helping with my mental health. They're the 12-year-old there. He's doing calculus and physics, AP physics. There's me failing ratios, or I'm on 6th grade level for like literally everything. It feels great, but it's how life is. So I just wanted to make this video ranting because I don't really want to talk to a real person about it, so I'll just talk to my phone. Yeah. Takeaways. Uh, Being sick sucks. Um, but, not everybody's illness is the same. And the thing I hate the most is when anybody tells me, at least you don't have cancer. Because it makes you feel bad because you're like, oh yeah, I feel bad about myself, and I'm like, well, it could be so much worse, and that's not the way to feel. Like, if you're sick, it sucks. I'm gonna admit it. It sucks. It's terrible. I've not been. This is not how someone's life is supposed to go. I am living off of hot chocolate, popcorn, and my cat. That's it. No other help is getting me here. I've lost 10 pounds because I forgot to eat food because that happens to me. I am severely dehydrated. I have not gotten. Actually, I have gotten good sleep because now I'm seeing a massage therapist who's like incredible. Shout out to her. She's great. But I I like I before that I did not get good sleep. Like what you're dealing with is real, no matter if it's like dyslexia, which I know sucks. Dysgraphia, I know sucks. Uh, Cancer, pretty sure it sucks. Have not gone through it, but from what I've heard, not fun. Eating disorders, not good. I lost 10 pounds. Like, what you're going through is real. And for anybody who knows somebody that's sick, text them. Make them feel loved because they need it. Like, because I know that I feel alone, like really alone. Like, I know I have like a couple of friends, but it still feel kind of drifting in my own universe here of sick people. So, last things. I don't recommend Pandas to anybody. I don't recommend anything that I have to anybody. Don't envy people, I guess. This is just a rant. I just wanted to rant to you, the internet, and let the internet take place and do what it wants with my information. I'm sorry it was so long and just me blabbing my mouth, but thanks for listening. Sayonara. Nobody tells you to like, follow, and share!